Today you're going to learn two new tips for Counter-Strike 2, one for T side and one for CT side, that is going to take your game to the next level. You are going to have a better understanding of how pros peak and how pros hold angles by the end of this video. But before we get into that, I do have to give you a message from the sponsor today.
Thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Skins Monkey. They are one of the greatest and easiest to use CS2 trading sites out there. You can swap out the skins you do not like for brand new ones that are so much more fresh. Even skins that are trade locked can be secured by adding them to your backpack. The greatest thing about the site is that you can buy skins for so much cheaper with a 35% deposit bonus when you use my code, COJO. Make sure to check out the freebie section where you can get a free skin just by completing tasks. On top of the bonuses, you also get a $5 bonus when clicking the link in the description.
Alright guys, so let's go ahead and start on T side on one of the things that I see professional players doing. I've been around long enough, I've played against enough pros, both in my pugs, I queue with them sometimes, and also just playing in my league matches. I play against pros all the time. And one thing that really good riflers do inside of this game is they understand how to jiggle out angles and peek effectively, right? So when they're clearing through ramp and stuff, they're not just holding W walking in like this, right? They're not just walking in and clearing it like this. Why? Because if anyone is holding here, they're not gonna struggle at all to kill you. You're just walking in and they're gonna see your arms and your gun before you even get a chance to see them, just because of the way peeking works in this game and just because of the way how angles are. Now, what is an effective way to clear angles? So what a lot of pros end up doing is, well, for this case we don't want our shadow to show, but they'll sit here and they'll jiggle out all these little angles. Why is that? Because when they're jiggling these angles, if there's an opper post there, or even just someone with a rifle, when they're jiggling and also they crouch and change up their angle and do things like this, if there's an opper or someone posted, they're going to start shooting before, and it's going to give you that little heads up and be able to kill them, right? One of my most frustrating things is when I'm holding an angle like this with the op, and instead of just walking into me, someone jiggles, and I have to decide in that split second, do I shoot or do I just like sit here? And when they're jiggling, it's so hard to like kill them. You might get lucky sometimes, but it's just about increasing your odds. So like doing those jiggle peaks are so good, and you'll see players do this everywhere, right? When they're going through connector here, they're sitting here jiggling all these common angles, and they're putting their crosshair at a point where if someone's there, they just have to click, right? They just have to click. The problem with walking into angles is that when you're walking in, you can only put your crosshair in so many places. And yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world, especially like if you don't think someone's there. But at the end of the day, if somebody is, you're just so vulnerable, and it's just the easiest frag in the world for them. You know, when these players are doing that, and I'm not even the best at it, right? I'm an opper, so my rifling and my entering like that is not the most solid. But they're literally just sitting here going AD, 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 right? AD, AD, AD. And then maybe when they take contact to somebody, that's when they'll commit to a crouch, or they'll just swing wide and, you know, fight all these angles like this. But they're never, if you watch them, especially when they're taking like these engagements and stuff on these angles, they're never just in the open and staying here like this. They're never just taking a fight where they're just sitting here and exposed to everything. Whenever they're taking these fights and jiggling stuff out, the purpose of that is to clear all of these common angles. If they can clear sandwich, if they can clear this like triple angle, if they can clear different spots, then they know that when they're taking this fight on the guy left side jungle, because they've jiggled out everything, right? There's nothing here. When they're taking this fight, they don't have to worry in their head about somebody being here shooting them as they're doing that, right? They're literally just able to focus on this and take a few shots and get out. A lot of new players, what they'll do is if they see someone like in jungle, they start taking a fight, they'll just sit here and hold mouse 1 and try to hope that they kill them. A professional player doesn't do that. He sits here and, like, you know, takes a few shots, switches to this side of the angle, switches back to this side, and from their perspective it makes it a lot harder because their crosshair has to keep going like boom 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 all over the place, and it's very confusing. Now let's talk about CT side, what you can do in order to be better. One thing that professional players do that you're not doing is when they're holding angles, they're kind of moving a bit, right? And why are they moving? Because at the end of the day, whoever's peeking has the advantage, just the way Counter-Strike works. So people are going to do what I showed you where they clear these common angles. And so if someone's just standing still here, if someone walks into you pre-aiming this common spot, you're probably dead, right? So what players are going to do is they're going to move around a bit and jiggle so that from the other person's perspective, they're seeing a moving target, even though you're not inaccurate at all because you're barely moving, right? So as soon as someone comes in, you're still accurate and you're still able to take that fight. A lot of noobs, what they'll do is they'll just sit here in a spot and not move at all. It also helps you in case like there's people in multiple areas, and it gets you locked in a bit. So you'll see players doing this all across the map. Literally anywhere they're at, you'll see players doing this. If they're, you know, playing an angle like this, they'll be moving just a bit, right? If they're playing in a spot like this, they actually, this spot maybe not, because they don't want to get spotted. But you know, maybe if they're here, they're gonna be jiggling a bit like this. But it's just very solid, very good, because from the other person's perspective, like I said, you're now a moving target even though you're not really moving. It just makes it that little bit harder. And guys, you got to realize at the end of the day, the pros are just doing these things a little bit better than you, making it so that they have a higher percentage of getting that frag. There's nothing wrong with just holding an angle like this, right? There's nothing wrong with sitting here crouching like this. But at the end of the day, when you start to play better players and they're just pre-firing angles, they're going to hit that shot more often than not, right? All they're doing is pre-firing. So if you're at the common angle without moving, all they got to do is click your head and you're dead. You don't got to do this. If you're watching this video and you're like face level 4 or 5, whatever, you don't got to do. You could just sit here and hold mouse 1 and kill them, right? But if you want to get better at the game, if you want to become better, doing stuff like this is going to get you kills. I see my face games all the time. Everyone, you might be that teammate, but everyone has that player in the face pug that's like, bro, why are they not shooting you as hard as they're shooting me? I get one tapped every round and you get the chance to do anything. You win like a 1v3 clutch and your teammate's like, how are they not shooting you? Bro, that's the most annoying thing I ever hear. And it's because of small little things like this. Also other stuff you'll find on my channel, so make sure you subscribe there. But it's just like, guys, never be that teammate, and just understand that pros are doing these little like micro movements, adjustments that make your life so hard. Dude, I remember one time I was playing, I forget what team it was on. I think it was Wildcard, right? I was playing Wildcard and there's a player named Infinite. He's a professional player in the scene, and I was posted on this angle, right? An insane off angle, right? It's gonna catch off most defaulters, but literally Infinite comes through here and he's rifling and he's jiggling out everything, right? He's even coming here and jiggling out this. It's the first time I played it all game, new spot, and I literally missed the shot because he shows me an elbow and then peeks back in, right? So he shows me that elbow, boom, and he's out of there, right? Shows that elbow everywhere. Show that elbow, show that elbow. And I shoot with the op and I miss, and I'm just like, bro, how is that, like, how is he jiggling this? If you can do this to all these angles, you're gonna frustrate your enemies and make yourself so much better at this game. So I hope that this helped out a bit. Good CT and T-side stuff. I might not explain it the best, but hopefully you can at least understand kind of this concept and how you can use it inside your game. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check out my Twitch channel, CoachMOCS. I play live, and you know, you can ask me anything and I'll help you out. So appreciate every single one of you. Go ahead and check me out over there and watch these videos on your screen right now. Peace out, guys. You're awesome.